Hi, 1 and 2-year-old leaders. We're preparing for October 20th in our series called Direct Message. In this series, we've been taking a look at the prophets, and the prophets lead us to Jesus. These are the years of the kings in Israel. And after God separated the kingdoms, there's a northern kingdom now and there's a southern kingdom. And the prophets during this time continued to try to direct the people back toward God. Remember, God had warned them that having an earthly king was going to have some consequences. And I think the Israelites, especially in our story today, are beginning to see those consequences and feel those consequences. And so what happens is, our story today is from 2 Kings chapter 17. And what we see in this story is God's, don't know if wrath is the right word, but God's extreme dislike of sin and choosing to worship anything other than the one true God. Remember, the kingdoms are separated. They're in new lands. There's new people around them. They celebrate and do things differently. And as a way to fit in, the Israelites are choosing to put everything that happens around them over, more important than God and their relationship with God. Obviously, that's sin, and God was not pleased with this. He wanted them to remember all of the things he did to rescue them, all of the things he was planning for the future by remembering the past, that he was going to send that Savior, perfect sacrifice, so that they didn't have to live in separation with him anymore. And so what we're seeing is just the unrest of the people in waiting for this time. We're also seeing God's unrest in not being pleased with the Israelites' choices. And so he allows the Israelites to be captured by these foreign kings and foreign nations, and obviously, there were consequences to that. They weren't in their land. They continued to follow those kings' rules. That king didn't know about the one true God. And so, obviously, following the laws of the land aren't necessarily directing people toward God. And in this case, and in the case of many other nations around the world, quite honestly, that's not God's desire. God's desire is for us to live in relationship with him and him alone. And so what we see is that God knew his people would not love them with their whole hearts. And he was serious about their sin problem. For the Israelites, they continued to put everything before the one true God. They put kings, they put practices and laws, they put false gods and other bad choices before they would acknowledge that God was the one true God. In other words, they were so clouded by their practices and all of the things they were doing that they were not acknowledging that God was their God. And so God allowed the Israelites to be removed from their land, and a new king replaced with people who knew. And so this is the crazy thing. So the new king who comes in and takes the northern kingdom, he replaces the Israelites with this group of people that knew nothing about what the laws were in God's land. Remember, God had established this is his land. And if you can't see what's happening in Israel right now through all of this, I think you need to go back and reread in 2 Kings and then pay a little closer attention to what's truly happening in Israel, because that's exactly what I witnessed when I was there, is that the people who were not God's people in God's land are doing things that are so far against what God would want for his people that it's like blatantly obvious. And so this new king replaced people with replace the people with people that didn't know what to do. And God essentially was punishing them as well, because they weren't doing what he desired to happen in that place at that time. They weren't able to live in the land. And so the new king had to go get a priest from the Israelite nation to come and teach these people what they were supposed to do. Does that sound anything familiar? That God is, just like God sent himself in the form of Jesus, just like God sent himself in the form of Jesus to show us how to worship him and worship him only. We saw this in 742 BC in 2 Kings 17, and that God that God's perfect King Jesus was coming to take the punishment for all of this sin. If the people had waited long enough, God had a plan. His perfect plan was coming, but they needed to wait, and they needed to wait longer. And so God made a way for each of us to worship him today as well. His King Jesus, when we believe that Jesus is our Savior and that Jesus' sacrifice on the cross is sufficient enough to fix our sin problem. When we believe that Jesus could have been God, was the perfect sacrifice, did all that he did so that we could be right with God, when we believe all of those things, oh my gosh, what a huge gift. What a huge gift, and what a huge gift it would be for our 1 and 2-year-olds to see the love of a God who disciplines his people so that they will slow down enough to see that he is the one true God, and his plan has been from the very beginning of time, and he's not finished with his plan yet. He wants every single one of us, just like our memory verse reminds us, he wants every single one of us to come to repentance and to understand that God had this plan for our sin problem from the very beginning of time, and that person is Jesus. All right, so your fun activity in small group today, you've got a pile of papers that look like this, and you also have some stickers that look like this. What you're going to do is let each kid put one of these stickers on their paper, and then you're going to take the paper and you're going to make it into a paper chain. So you have to start with one. And so you're going to take your paper chain with the sticker attached to it and make it into a chain. And then the next kid is going to get the next sticker, and they're going to make their chain and attach it to this. And what you're going to do is let the kids physically help you break the chain as a way to show, just like God's people, Israelites, were led away in chains. God made a way for us to not have to live in those chains anymore, and that person is Jesus. Then when you're done, at the bottom of your page, you have some memory verse stickers. So you should have plenty of loops here. You don't have to make your paper chain super long, but there's plenty of papers there for you to make another chain for each kid. Let them put their memory verse sticker on their paper chain. Then they can put this on their wrist and take it home as a reminder of our Bible story today. And your memory verse, as we talked about just a minute ago, is from 2 Peter 3:9. The Lord is not slow in keeping his promises, or as some understand slowness. Instead, he is patient with you, not wanting anyone to perish, but everyone to come to repentance. 2 Peter 3:9. I don't have great actions for that memory verse. There's a lot of big words in there. So if you wanted to say it in different ways with different voices, you could do that. If you want to say it really fast or really slow, you could do that, just as a way to get it in the kids' memory and to remind them that God's word is true. And because God's word is true, his promise was for the Israelites then, his promise is for us now. And he is being patient, waiting for us to acknowledge that he is the one true God and that his son Jesus, perfect God, sacrifice, made a way that God doesn't see our sins anymore. When we believe that one part, when we believe that one part, God doesn't see our sins and we are counted as righteous. In other words, as far as God knows, we are right. He does not see our sins anymore. Thank you so much for leading kids and loving on them. Next week, October 27th, we have a leader huddle. I hope you'll plan to be with us. It's going to be a great time where we get to talk about sharing our testimonies. So I hope you'll be there and spend some time with us talking about how we can talk about our story and how we can share that, and then how we can equip our kids to do the same. I'll talk to you soon. Thank you.